Today is stretch and strength yoga. Grab a strap or something you can use to improvise. Or if you have them, grab bands. We might make use of these. If you don't have the bands, I'm going to tell you how to engage the muscles to feel like you're using the bands. So don't feel stressed if you don't have them.
I don't have mine.
All right, we're going to get started on our backs today. Have your band, have your strap handy, and come on down to your back. Start to land in the room. So land on your back. Make sure you take a nice little wiggle with the hips. Try to allow the hips to soften, the lower back to soften. Try to allow the back of the neck to soften and not force it down to the ground. Let the chin come to the ceiling and the natural curve of your neck arrive. Try to allow your shoulders to land on the ground. And take a moment to really connect with being in this present moment. Letting go of whatever brought you to your mat. Letting go of what's to come after you leave your mat. And just find your breath. Do a little check-in and ask yourself the question, how am I? How am I mentally? How am I emotionally? How am I physically? Can you allow space for the answers with a little kindness and compassion? And then bring your chin to neutral, making sure that your chin is pointed to the ceiling. Feel the back of your head on the mat, and then bring any hand onto the skull, so onto the forehead. Just start to feel a little pressure on the back of the head and a little pressure on the front of the head. See if you can soften a little more around the jaw, down the neck, and then let that go. Take the chin all the way over to the right shoulder and feel the left side of the neck. Feel where the tension is here. Take the right hand and just gently place it on top of the temple. And then just very, very, very softly fire up the head and press into the hand. Just a little bit. Fire up the neck muscles, pressing into the hand without letting the head move. Little bit. Don't overwork the neck muscles. Just fire them up. Take a deep breath and then let the muscles relax suddenly. And then let that go. Take your chin all the way over to the left shoulder and connect with where you hold the tension on the right side. Take the left hand, place it onto the right temple. Press into the hand with your head just a little. Fire up the neck. Be very gentle and mindful when we work with the neck. Take a deep breath in and then suddenly let the muscles of the neck release. Bring the chin back to neutral. Bring both hands to the forehead. Press the head into the forehead as if you're trying to lift the head without letting it move. Fire up the muscles of the neck. Maybe fire up the muscles of the neck a little more. Take a deep breath and then suddenly let them loosen. Slide your fingers in underneath the back of your head. Press your head into your fingertips. Fire up the muscles in the neck. Press, 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 press. Take a deep breath in and then suddenly let the muscles in the neck relax. Release the fingertips and then take the chin slowly side to side. Just feeling the muscles of the neck, maybe feeling a little less tension. Then bring the chin back to neutral and place the feet on the ground, knees up. Feet are about hip width apart and get the shoulders onto the ground. We're going to move and breathe, firing up the back of our legs. So begin to inhale and lift the hips. Exhale and lower. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. And start to fire up all of the muscles you can find from the heels to the upper back and also the stomach. See if you can fire up the stomach. See if you can fire up the glutes a little more. Maybe press into the heels as well as pulling with your stomach. See if you can do all of these things. Find your muscles. Find your breath. And then lower the hips. Take the heels a little bit further away from the glutes. And then same thing. Inhale as we lift. Exhale as we lower. See if you can pull the heels towards the glutes without letting them move. Fire up the backs of the legs a little more. And then lower the hips. Bring the feet down, knees up, and take the knees side to side. Nice slow shuffle. And then we're going to take the right foot up in the air, and this is where you can grab your strap. So if you have a strap, you're just going to wrap it around the foot so that you can have something to press into with the foot and something to hold on to. So we're trying to keep our hips even on the ground. Push the hips down into the ground and then press into the strap with the foot. Hold the strap with the arm. You can, if you don't have a strap, just hold the leg or just actively push the foot up to the ceiling. Find the point, moving the leg, where you feel you're warming up and finding the back of the leg. Maybe pressing the ball of the foot more to the ceiling. Keeping that right hip grounded on the ground. And checking for any pinching in the hip. We don't want to have pinching in the hip. Just being mindful, warming up this back of your leg, pressing into the strap. You can keep it static or move it around. And then we're going to go into the inside thigh. So you can let the left knee open up and slowly let that right leg come towards the right side. And bring it back to center. Holding onto the strap. Slowly lower the right leg a little bit down, firing up the leg. So bringing it down towards the ground, hold and fire. So really pull the strap towards you and push. So really firing up the back of the leg. Stomach engaged, huh? So the back of the leg should be active and strong. Pull the strap harder. And then release the foot.
I don't know what was pushing, but it wasn't that.
Wrap the left foot around the strap. Press into the strap. Find the left hip grounded on the ground. So oftentimes we pop that left hip up, push it down, find the back of the leg. Press into the strap with the ball of the foot. Breathe when you stretch. And then letting the right knee open up to the right. Let the left leg start to come over to the left. Just finding the inside thigh. Again, pressing into the strap with the ball of the foot. Bring it back to center, holding onto the strap. Really press with the ball of the foot into the strap and hold the strap firmly and slowly bring it down. See if you can feel like you're really pressing into the strap, resisting. So you're pulling and pressing at the same time. Fire up the back of the leg and then let it go. It's not a stretch, it's a strength.
I didn't feel anything.
Bring the knees in and give yourself a little hug.
I'm ready for Shabbat.
Roll on over to a side, coming up to a seated position. So get even on the hips, tall in the spine. Land on your hips, find your breath. Soften the torso. We're going to move from the rib cage up, taking little soft circles. Hollowing out the belly. Moving slow with the breath. And then reverse your circles. And then bring it back to neutral. Bring your head neutral and then chin down to the chest. Chin all the way to the ceiling. Back to neutral. Right ear to right shoulder. Back to neutral, left ear to left shoulder. Back to neutral. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, draw the elbows down and behind. Inhale up and exhale down. Arms active, hands strong. Find the muscles behind the shoulder blades.
What did we do today? Like yesterday? So my back is really sore.
And then bring the arms down. Take the arms, the shoulder blades all the way behind you. Tired today. Squeeze the shoulder blades really, really tight. And then take the shoulder blades up. Squeeze a little tighter, a little more, a little tighter, a little more. And then bring them all the way down nice and slow. And then come on over to a tabletop position. We're going to move and breathe in our tabletop, inhaling tabletop and exhaling back towards a child's pose. Inhale forward and exhale back, connecting to breath and movement and being on your mat. Have an internal experience. Maybe even close your eyes and connect to how it feels to move in this familiar pattern. Inhale forward. Exhale backwards. And you can stay with this simple movement, or if you'd like to pump it up a little, we're going to inhale forward to a high plank shape and exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, down dog. Not worrying too much about the shape, but again, about having an internal experience, warming up, feeling your own muscles. Feeling your hands on the ground, your feet on the ground. Feeling the breath arrive in the body. And if you're ready to pump it up a little more, lift the right leg to a hover. And we're going to go three-legged dog to hovering high plank. Don't forget to switch sides. Lower down to a child's. Connect with your hands on the ground. Try to leave them active as if they're pushing the ground away from you, and take the stretch. Connect with your breath. What can you let go of? Bring it back to tabletop. Set up in a tabletop. Take your right leg out, even with the hip, nice and strong and active. Try not to bow or sink into the shoulders. Strong, active. Lift left hand. Balance. We're going to inhale long. Exhale, bend the elbow, bring it left. Bend the knee, bring it right. Inhale long, bend in. Inhale, exhale, bend. Squeeze the core, squeeze the hip. Connect with the breath. Try not to sink into that right shoulder. Bring the left hand down, bring the right toes down, and press through the heel. Bring the right toes up, slowly bring the right toes all the way over towards the right hand. Land the foot. And then we're gonna lift little pulses from here. So lift this foot up, hover, little pulses. Land the foot down, plant it down, and we're gonna come on up with the torso. Oh, the light changed a lot on our screen. Bring the right hand down somewhere towards the thigh on the right leg. Lift this left side up. Breathe into a nice open left side body. Bring it back down. Slowly land over to the left. And pop up the right leg, baby half moon. Breathe. Plant the right foot, knee down, tabletop. Reset. Kaylee's turned into floppy elephant today. We're going to take left leg long, really strong, really, really, really strong. No bowing, nice and strong, strong leg. Right arm up, and then bending the elbow, bringing the elbow towards the right hip, bending the knee, bringing the knee towards the left elbow. Inhale long, exhale in. Make it long. Lower the right hand. Lower the toes on the left leg. Press through the heel. Lift the left toes. Slowly bring them towards the left hip. Drop the toes. And then little pulses. Watch for compensation patterns all along the right side body. And the face and the neck. Land this left foot. Slowly bring the torso up. Get strong on the left foot, and then open up right side body. Breathe. Slowly bring the torso all the way over. Land the right hand and lift the left leg, baby half moon. Slowly bring the left and foot down, knee down, back to tabletop. Tuck the toes and meet me in a down dog. Find some movement in your down dog. Warm up your down dog. And then find the stillness of this pose. Catch your breath. Connect with your head below your heart. And turn your world upside down. Maybe get a different perspective.
Do you hear the bird?
Bend the knees. Look towards the hands and either jump or float or hop.
That was
All the way up to meet your hands.
There was no walking there. There was jump, float, or hop.
I know, I can't English today. Land on your 2 feet. Press into the ground like you're trying to tear the mat apart. And then we're going to bend and straighten. Find your breath. Get longer in the spine, more engaged in the stomach. And then take a deep breath in as we come all the way up, hands overhead, and exhale down, prayer to heart. Inhale all the way up, hand down to our heart. Connecting with our breath. And then we'll start to make this movement a little bigger. Inhale up. Exhale, sinking down into a baby chair. Inhale up. Exhale down.
Is that thunder? The building shook.
And then if you like, stay with this or bring it up to the balls of the feet, not locking the knees, keeping strong legs. Inhaling up to the balls of the feet, slowly lowering the heels and hips down. Challenge your balance a little. And And bring it down. See if you can bring it down without lowering the heels. Hover. Take the tension out of the low back, the shoulders, the neck, and the face. Get a little taller in the spine. And then slowly lower the heels. Find mountain pose, 2 feet on the ground. Get tall in the spine, maybe even close the eyes. Connect to the prayer hands right at the heart center. And then we're going to bring the weight onto the right leg. And slowly lift the right knee up, trying not to move the hips.
Bringing the weight onto the right leg and lifting it at the same time were amazing.
Sorry. Weight onto the right leg, lift the left. You can't balance on the one that you're lifting at the same time. That would be quite a feat. So, fire up. I'm so distracted. Fire up this left leg. We're going to start to bring action into this hip flexor. Inhale up. Exhale down. If you like, you can bring fire breath in, pulling and pushing. Hold it up. Send left knee past the right knee. And come all the way back nice and slow to lower the left foot. High lunge. So get really strong in the high lunge and bring the torso a little forward. Squeeze the core. Legs are really strong. We're going to bring the left arm nice and long from the shoulder. Right hand can come to the hip. It can come to the back, wherever is comfortable. We're going to start to bring the weight onto this right leg. Squeezing the core, pop up the left leg, however high you can. Maybe it's just a teeny bit. Inhale long, exhale, bring left elbow to left knee. Inhale long, exhale in. Nice and strong and with control. Don't use momentum. Inhale long, exhale in. I like my hand on my back here because it helps me remember to keep my hips nice and stable and strong. Inhale long, exhale lower. Find a regular high lunge. This time take your left hand to either your low back or your hips. Right hand comes long, torso comes forward. Lean forward. Squeeze, pop up that foot. Inhale long, exhale, opposite knee to up elbow. Squeeze the core.
I looked at my hand and I was doing gymnastics hands.
Stop distracting me.
That's what I'm here for.
And then slowly lower. High lunge. Find your high lunge. Find some steadiness in this pose. And then pop that back foot in just a little bit so you can get it down nice and comfortable. And we're going to pop up the toes on the right leg. Feeling the back of the leg. Maybe bringing the torso forward. So rather than bringing the torso way down, press the heel into the ground and feel like you're pressing the heel away from you, getting longer from the heel to the hip. And if that doesn't fire up the stretch, feel like you're dragging that heel towards you. See how that feels. Land on the right leg, back to a high lunge. Take your right fist and give it a little tap on the right hip. Trust me, you want to do that. Otherwise, you'll feel it later.
Hands to prayer. Find the steadiness of high lunge. Take a deep inhale, and with the exhale, we're going to frame out the front foot. Send that right foot to meet the left high plank. And you can meet me in child or go for the challenge. If you have a strap, grab your strap, wrap it around your forearms. Gidley's doing nothing today. So press into the strap. So feel a high plank as if you're pushing into the strap if you don't have the strap, or use the strap to press out. Fire up your shoulders and chest in a different way. Send the hips backwards to a down dog shape, still pressing into the strap or still pressing out. Press, pull against the strap with all of your muscle strength. Come back to a high plank. Bring the knees to a really tight hover, so just above the ground. Squeeze the core. Bring the knees closer to the pelvis and then back. So a little tuck of the pelvis and knees, like you're trying to bring your knees up to your belly button, still holding strength. And the shoulders, small, tiny movement. Probably doesn't feel like much until it does, and then you're like, oh, that's what I'm working. Lower the knees. Let the strap go. And find child's pose. Take a breath. Find your breath. And then back to a down dog. Find the stillness of down dog. Bring your hands close together. See how this changes the shape of the pose. Still active in the arms. Change your hands again, take them wider, maybe as wide as the mat. See how that changes the pose. And then maybe experiment with turning the fingertips of one hand back towards you. Switch sides. And then maybe even both fingertips turn back towards you. Switch to a regular down dog. Find your pattern. Find where you're most comfortable and strong. Connect with your breath. Look towards your hands and take 1,000 tiny steps or a little hop. I got it right that time. Land on your feet. Take your feet a little bit wider this time, about mat width apart. Feel like you're tearing the mat apart with your feet. Fire up the inside of your legs. Bend deeply and lengthen. Lengthen from the hips to the crown of the head. Really strong legs, like you're really pushing into the feet, pulling the mat apart with the whole of the foot, not gripping with the toes. Grab your strap. Tuck it right underneath the left ball of the foot. Ooh. Try and have a lot of length. Legs strong and active. We're going to take the right arm long and send the hip to the right. Reaching up,
that doesn't make any sense. Wait. Oh, never mind. This isn't the one that I was confused.
Reach from the right hand to the left foot. Pull tight with the hips even, and then send the hip a little bit over to the right. You should find the inside of the left leg.
Oh, I do. That's rare.
Hold. This should be strong in the arm. You're using the muscles of the arm. Let go. Switch feet.
I can feel it if I just stand here.
You don't have to use the strap. The strap just makes it a little more interesting.
Hard.
Land the feet. I don't know. Yes, because you have to work the arm. It's a little more distracting. Pull strong with the left arm from the left arm to the right foot. And then take the hips just a teeny bit over. So you're just bringing the hips over towards the left, finding the inside of that right thigh.
Slapped myself in the face.
Breathe and hold. And bring that down. Let it go. Unwrap the strap. Bring your hips, your head, torso neutral with your hips. Feet are strong, legs are strong in the ground. And we're going to take the hips side to side. Little tiny, slow and controlled movement. Warming through the inside thighs. Now if you want to make it more challenging, you're going to bring your arms out even with the shoulders. Make the torso heavier. And then start to take opposite hand towards opposite foot. Slow and controlled. Back to neutral, bend into the knees. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, prayer down to our hearts. Couple of rounds, wide legs. Inhale up. Exhale. This time, sink the hips all the way down. Maybe you need to turn your toes out a little. Come down slow. All the way down. All the way down. Kaylee's favorite
I was
pose.
so hopeful I moved my legs out for goddess.
Bring it all the way down. Find where you can bring your hips, where ankles, knees, and hips are comfortable.
Nowhere.
You can take a little movement in this pose, or you can take it nice and still. Find your breath. And this is strength and stretch.
No.
So we're going to press into the ground. Press strongly with the heels. Come on up. Inhale. Exhale. Bring it down nice and slow. Press into the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Bring it down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale down.
I'm rolling. I'm not doing that.
One more time.
I did the last one.
This time come all the way up and step it in. Find mountain. Find your breath.
Today's not a Molossi day.
Find your center. This time weight comes onto the left leg. Try not to move the hips. Bring it up. Bring the right leg up.
To a saying that as I'm moving my hips.
We're going to work hip flexors, so bring it in and out. Maybe even bring in fire breath in and push out. Bring it in. And then we're sending right knee past the left. Again, not moving those hips. Keep them even and stable. Slow, slow, slow. Lower the toes. Find a high lunge. Right arm comes really long. Stretch from the right hand to the right toes. Bring the torso forward. Pop up the back leg. Inhale long. Exhale in. Inhale long. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale long. Exhale, lower. Find your high lunge.
Oh, I did the wrong one.
We do both. Bring your left arm long, torso forward, squeeze. Bring the right leg up. Inhale long, exhale, squeeze. Inhale long, exhale, squeeze. Inhale long, exhale, lower. Woo. High lunge. Pop the back foot in so it's comfortable. Lift the toes on the left leg. Oh my gosh. Find the point where you're firing up the back of this left leg. Maybe you're pressing the heel away from you or pulling it back towards you. Get the torso long, stomach engaged. Slowly come back to a high lunge. Take left heel, palm. Take the fist. And take some taps on the left hip. So tongue-tied. Too much work at the tavern. Bring the hands back to prayer. Take a deep inhale, and with the exhale, we're going to frame out the front foot. Press into the hands. Send left foot back to meet the right. High plank. And again, option to take the challenge or meet me in child's pose. We're going to wrap the band around lower leg. Come to a tabletop. We're going to take the right leg up, left leg down. And we're going to do heel pulses with the band. You can meet me in a child's if you're already tired.
How many in Shavasana?
And then bring that heel slowly towards the right hand. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Lower the right knee. Take the hips all the way over to the right in a funky side child. Back to tabletop. Left leg up, keeping it tied down with the band. So pull up. Notice the difference to pull the muscles rather than to squeeze and hold. And then bring left heel towards left wrist. Little pulls. Strong and controlled. Notice compensation patterns. So you might be doing this, bringing your shoulder towards your foot. Notice, bring the heel towards the hand with the foot, with the leg. And then bring it down. And take it to a child's. Unwrap your legs. Work is done. Bring it down. Find your breath. We should turn the fans on today because it is really hot in here.
It was really cold this morning. It was weird.
It was raining when we left. Find your breath. your torso up and come to a seat. Bring the feet out wide. Land the heels, soft knees. And just kind of feel left and right. So pressing the ball of the foot away and then switching sides. So moving left and right, feeling the legs. Now we're going to do a stretch. So you can take this with your feet on the ground, knees up. Plant the right hand behind the right hip. Sweep the left hand up and over and open up that left side body. You can bring this right leg to straight. You can keep it bent. Move around. Find the point where you're lifting the hips up, opening up left side body. Breathe. Take the tension out of the neck. Slowly lower the hips. Sweep it on over to the other side. Lift up. Open up that right side body. Slowly bring it down. Take the legs and wiggle them out. Soft, soft, soft wiggle. And then bring it on down to your back with your strap handy. Coming on down to your back.
Oh, not the strap.
You can use the strap. I like the band. And we're going to do that same stretch that we did from the start of the class just to see if anything's changed. So yoga is about having an internal experience. So notice if anything's different. So land on the ground, get the hips comfortable. Right foot comes into the strap. Press into the strap, or just push the foot up to the ceiling. Hip even. So pressing that right hip down into the ground. Find the back of the leg and see if it feels different. And let it come over to the right. Let the left knee open. See if that feels different. See if you have a little more range of motion. Don't be surprised if it feels tighter or tired. That can happen too. Bring it back to center. Switch feet. And feel. Press the foot up to the ceiling. Open up to the left side. Back to center. And let go of the foot. Bring the knees in and give yourself a little hug, maybe even rock it. And the feet down, knees up. And we're just going to roll over the sacrum just to get a little softer in the hips. So rolling the sacrum, tipping the pelvis up and then tipping it down. Trying to do this without muscular force. It's a tiny movement, just kind of rolling over the sacrum. Trying to soften in this space. And then heels down into the ground. And little pulses of the hips, teeny tiny pulses of the hips. So lifting them up off the ground and letting little soft wiggles, teeny pulses. Land the hips, take the right knee over the left, bring the knees in towards the chest and then feet to opposite shoulders. Find the piriformis underneath the glutes on the right side. Breathe into this muscle. Unravel.
Switch sides. Bring the feet back down, knees up. And again, little tiny postures, and see if you can get a little more softness now that we breathed in underneath the glutes. See if you can take it left and right. So little left and right shimmy, taking the weight from opposite feet, left, right, left, right, left, right. And then let it stop. Bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees open. So if this is not comfortable, take the heels a little further from the glutes and maybe a little closer. Everybody's hips are a little different, so experiment with where the feet are to where your hips feel comfortable. And allow your hips to land on the ground, your lower back to soften. Just see how this feels. Breathe. And begin to let go. So I'm going to give you the option to stay in this pose as your resting pose. However, this is not a stretch time. Resting pose is not a stretch time. So if your hips feel like they are stretching, please do what I'm about to do with Kaylee and prop your hips. So Kaylee's hips, knees almost come to the ground. I'm going to give her a good prop so that they're not anywhere near the ground. If they were even higher up, I would have given her a bigger prop. So you want to be far away from your stretching point and relaxing into the ground in this open position. So the point of this is not to stretch the hips, not at all, to find any kind of stretch. We're going to go into a meditation on the feet and hips and your grounding points. So, finding yourself on the ground. If you changed your resting position and your soles of your feet are not together, you're just going to imagine that they are, that they're connected. Imagine you could send your breath around a loop in your lower body. Imagine you could breathe in and send the air down your left leg to the sole of the left foot. And as you breathe out, you're going to draw it up the right leg and meet in the center, in the stomach, across the hips. Breathe in down the left leg, meet at the soles of the feet, and draw it up back into the center, in the front of the hips. Connecting a loop of energy across your base, across your grounding. Imagine this loop of energy is completely free of any tension, free of scars, free of misaligned bones, free of any tension. You're going to breathe in fresh down the left leg and sweep away anything no longer needed and any tension up the right leg. Imagine that there's this little center right in front of the hips, this cleansing center. You're going to send fresh down the left and draw out what's no longer needed up the right, and it's going to be washed right in the center of the hips. And then gently see if you can switch the channel of your energy. You're going to breathe in fresh down the right leg, knee at the soles of the feet, and sweep away any tension and things no longer needed up the left leg. Cleansing right in the center of the hips, right in the lower stomach. Connecting with that breath. Breathing in fresh. Sweeping away tension. And gently let that go. Land right in the center of the hips. And bring a softness here. Maybe you imagine a soft red ball of energy sweeping away any tension in this space. And then slowly soften and loosen control and land in that center point of the mind. Greeting yourself where you're at, without judgment, with compassion and kindness. Notice what is present here. Notice that you can notice your thoughts, and then perhaps notice a little space in between the thoughts. And we're coming right up on that 60-minute mark, so if you have somewhere that you need to be, go ahead and begin to come out of this pose, out of this resting state. Otherwise, take as long as you need, as long as you can in your resting pose. Take the time that your body needs. When you come out, bring your hands to your thighs and slowly bring some circles to the thighs with the palms of the hands, just bringing a little circulation to this space, and then gently with your hands bring your knees in towards each other and roll on over into a little ball in the fetal position, whichever side is calling to you. Taking this nice and gentle and trying to be kind and soft to the body. And curl up in a little ball. Arrive back in present moment in time. And as you lay on your mat, perhaps taking a moment to think of some of the negative stories that we tell ourselves, that we can perhaps let go of. Maybe some of those judgments that we place upon ourselves. Imagine leaving them on the mat. And taking this moment to rise up fresh and return to a seat with your hands of prayer at heart space. Connecting with this gesture of bringing our left and right sides to meet in front of our heart. This gesture of accepting ourselves as whole and complete, exactly as we are. May you spend your day feeling a little more grounded, a little more solid on your feet. May we all know love, light, and connection. Thanks for joining us. Thank you so much to everyone who has been joining us and supporting us. Please comment below. We don't get to talk to you in person anymore, so we really enjoy the comments. We enjoy interacting. Some of you have been emailing and texting. We love it. Please keep it up. We want to hear from you because it's nice to know you're all still out there. We miss you all very much. Kaylee does too. She's just asleep.